Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rising Stars, where we showcase local Montreal talent on the rise. Today, I'm especially excited because I'm joined by a up-and-coming actress, Bruna Perussello. Bruna,
right.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We have a lot to discuss. First off, I'd like to jump into your origin story.
Okay.
You came to Montreal 6 years ago
Right.
from Brazil.
Yes.
Tell me about that change in culture
Right.
and dynamic.
Yeah. So, well, some people already know that I'm Brazilian.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Brazil. And I came to Canada in 2017. So I've been here for 6 years. And my acting career started here.
Okay.
In Brazil, I have zero background in acting. I do have some background in music.
Okay.
I tried playing multiple instruments, but I failed at all of them.
Okay.
So I think it's acting that is actually for me.
Okay. And when exactly did you start acting in Montreal? Was it as soon as you got here?
No, it took a few years. I started taking acting classes in November 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and that was by the very end of the pandemic. So it was when I started, thinking about my life and what I want to do from now on. And I always wanted to, but I was extremely shy. So I didn't even, I had no idea how to start. Like I couldn't even do theater or anything because just the idea of talking in front of people, it was so overwhelming to me. But then in 2021, I was like, okay, I have to pursue this because I know it's in me and it's escalating inside me. So that's when I started taking acting classes.
Mm-hmm.
But I only felt, at the beginning, it was something more to develop my social skills and talking in public.
For sure.
I wasn't really confident that I would be able to do that professionally. Mm-hmm. So it was only 1 year after that I started feeling comfortable going to auditions and all that. And then it's been a year that I've been auditioning and doing stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
And tell me about those beginning stages. How did you get yourself out there? Did you ask maybe some friends you knew? Did you just a Google search?
Yeah, it was a Google search.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I was already looking into it for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then I did a Google search and I found a coach. Okay. He's Adam Colley Morton. Okay. Was my very first coach. He has an acting studio in NZG, which was the neighborhood I lived in back then. And I found his website and I thought, okay, this is someone I could, relate to and I'd like to have classes with him. And I remember that I was so shy that I couldn't even contact him. There was a contact information, email address and telephone number, but I couldn't even, send him a message. And then I saw the pictures from the classes and I was like, no, I won't be able to do that. And then I eventually, like a few times a year, I would go back to his website and go through the pictures and think, okay, maybe I might be ready. No, I'm not. And then eventually I texted him. It's actually a sad story, but I was seeing a therapist because I was really struggling with social anxiety and other stuff. And so I sent him an email because I knew I had to make changes in my life. So I sent him an email asking, okay, when is the next class and how can I join? And he said, oh, we're actually joining in a few months, starting a new class in a few months because it was right in the middle of the pandemic. Okay. So they had stopped, gathering in closed spaces. indoor. So he told me, I'm not really giving any classes now, but in a few months I can contact you. And then eventually he wrote me back saying, yeah, okay, I'm gonna start a new class now, and would you like to join?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm really busy right now, and I'm involved with so many things. I won't be able to join. And the moment I hit send, I just started crying because I lied. It was a lie. I didn't have anything going on, but I couldn't. And then I was seeing a therapist back then. And I told her that, and she was very supportive. And she said, no, write him back and explain that you have social anxiety and you want to do this, but we have so many things that you have to work on yourself, and just be honest with him. And then I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. I have to be honest. And then I think a month or two after, he wrote me back, okay, I have a new class. Are you joining? And then I said, yes, I'm joining.
Nice.
And that was November 2021. So I had already worked on myself, and then I was ready. So it's actually a sad story, but
it turns out to be a happy story.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, now yes.
For sure. And take me through that first ever class. You're surrounded by a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
You're about to put yourself out there. You're going to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Because some actors or up-and-coming actors may watch this interview and feel exactly what you felt, that social anxiety.
Right.
That, I don't know if I should do it. Take me through that first ever acting class.
Yeah. So one thing that really reassured me is that I had an interview with him. He has an interview process with all new students, and he asked me what my intentions were, and I said, well, I'm not really looking, I don't really want to be like a professional actor, but because I didn't think I could do it, not because I didn't want to, but like I had zero self-confidence. And I said, I just want to work on myself, on my social skills. And he said, oh, that's not a problem. Most of my students, they don't want to be, they have zero interest in becoming actors. They just want to, improve themselves and, be more extroverted. So you're going to be fine. And if ever there's a class or an exercise that you're not comfortable with, you don't have to do. You're not, obligated to do anything. You can just sit there and watch everyone. So I thought, oh, okay, that's good to know, because, and then I just had in my mind that most classes I would just sit there watching other people and I wouldn't be doing anything. I would just be there. And then when we had the very first class in all classes, moving forward, I was able to do just everything. Not only I was able to do, I never had to ask him, okay, I'm not comfortable doing this, so I'm just going to sit here. I never had to do that. On the contrary, I was like, okay, I want to have classes every day, not just once a week.
Exactly.
And every time I would, go back home after class, I was like, this really energized me. It's the contrary that I was expecting, that I would feel exhausted. It would really energize me. And then I started thinking, okay, I want to have more classes, because just once a week is not enough for me. I wish I could do this every day. Yeah. And then I started thinking, okay, what if I do this for a living, like professionally? I would not only do something that really makes me happy, but I would be making money out of this. Like, this is nice, And then it took me just like a few months to realize that, okay, this is it. Like, there's no turning back. I want to be a working actor, and that's what I want to do. So, and I even thought that anyone else would be more successful than me, because I'm an introvert, and I had social anxiety. So I thought anyone who has like better social skills would do better than me in this industry. And then it's actually something I was discussing with a friend of mine who's also an actor. And he's he's an introvert just like me, and he doesn't like to be in the spotlight, but he loves acting, and that's what he wants to do for a living. And we were talking about our first classes, and we thought that anyone who was an introvert, an extrovert, would do better than us, but it turned out that it was actually the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, when I started my first class, I was, reading people, and I was like, okay, this person, she's an extrovert. She has a lot of social skills, and she's very natural. She's gonna do really good. And then at the end of the class, or the program itself, it was actually the opposite. Like the ones that I thought would do really good, they didn't know their lines, or they had trouble memorizing stuff, or they were very natural among other people, but when it came to being in front of a camera, they were camera shy. So it was the opposite of me. Like, I'm extremely shy, but in front of a camera, I'm not camera shy at all. So it's just that so much pressure that we put on ourselves.
Exactly.
And we always think that other people will do better than us, but no, you just have to try.
Exactly. Like that, there's a quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy.
Right.
And I really struggled with that my first year of acting,
Yeah.
because I was always looking at other actors or actresses and what they were doing or what they brought. And the camera wants authenticity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There's only one Bruna. There's
Right.
only one Michael Vidakis. So just be yourself. And
Right.
in that regard, acting is very therapeutic.
Extremely.
Extremely. And like you said,
Extremely.
instead of feeling drained, you were going home feeling energized.
Right.
I also wanted to touch on, you said after a couple months of training and going to classes, you said, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do with my life. This is the path. I remember I had a similar moment, and my mindset kind of shifted in that moment to where I said, okay, we got to be serious about this.
Yeah.
When you're up and coming and you're starting, you're kind of testing the ground, you're new, you're not sure what to make of it. When you make that mindset shift, you go all in. Tell me about how your training changed as soon as you had that realization. Did you just hop in full force, taking classes every night?
Yeah.
What books did you read? Videos you watched?
Well, I started taking more classes with different coaches as well. And I also started doing background work. That also helped me a lot. I was already taking classes, acting classes, and then I was invited to do background work, and I was so nervous. Like I was extremely nervous, and it was just a background gig. I didn't have to say anything, and I wasn't even in the spotlight. And then I did it once, and it was like, okay, this is kind of scary, all the crew, and because I had no idea. Like I have no artistic background in my family. No one's, everyone has regular, normal jobs. So I'm not used to the industry. So I had no idea like how many people we took to record a scene to make a film, or so when I did background for the first time, it was so scary, like so many people walking around, and I thought, is this really this is what I want to do, but am I capable of doing it? Can I do it? Is this for me? And then the first time was, okay, draining, scary. And then the second time, oh, okay, what do you need me for? Oh, this and that. Oh, sure, when? At the first time, I needed to know everything. Okay, where? And let me look on Google, and what time is it? And I had everything already set up. And then the second and third time was like, yeah, sure, I'll be there. I don't even know. I don't even need to know what it is for. Just give me a time and a place, and I'll be there.
Exactly.
So I started getting more confident because it started making sense. So that helped me a lot for acting. And a few days of doing extra work, I thought, okay, now I feel comfortable having a line and talking in front of a camera. I was already at ease being in front of a camera, like doing actions, but now I feel like I can talk in front of a camera. So, and then not only I can talk, I can, have expressions, I can cry, I can laugh.
Exactly.
And so it's a process. And at the beginning, we're like, oh, so many people, they're already doing this and that. But like we have to go through the small steps to get to places. It doesn't. You think it's not happening for you, but it is. But it's just step by step, and each small step is so important.
It is.
Because if you just, you got an audition and you're going to be on Law and Order. Like, oh, great. But chances are, if you're not ready, you're going to screw it up. You know, you're going to you won't know your lines, and you will, you're going to have a panic attack. So just go step by step. And, they hired me. I booked something. I wanted the lead role, but they hired me to play the maid. Well, whatever, anything is immense. Anything, this business is, you have to be so grateful to play just anything.
Exactly. So. We are given a gift to be able to express ourselves artistically and creatively in this medium.
Exactly.
And
well, the question, I also joined a theater group, which is even more scary than film, because you're right there, and it's live. You can't. No, there's no second take. Yeah. So I joined a theater group, and it was scary at first, but it was very gratifying, and it was so much fun. I had only one play. I joined last year. Okay. I had only one play so far, and now we're working on our second play.
Oh, very nice.
And I love it.
Nice.
It's very therapeutic as well.
And how do you find the difference between preparing for an on-camera role and the preparation for a theater role?
A play, it's very different. It's very different. And on my very first show, we had 4 performances. Okay. And on my very first performance, I was backstage. It was different sketches. So we had 2 or more roles each. Okay. And when I was not on stage, I was backstage thinking, okay, this is not for me. Like the same process that I went through with film, I went through with theater. And I was thinking, okay, this is not for me, because it's opposite. It has the opposite effect as film. It doesn't energize me. It drains me. Like I'm really exhausted at the end of the play. But I was just scared. It was just fear talking to me, because after I spoke to the audience members and even the cast, and they were like, oh, so how do you feel? And then I was like, oh, I'm so nervous, because it was my very first performance. They were like, really? I would never tell that it was different. I thought you were doing this for years, because it was so natural. Yeah. So I thought, okay, maybe I do have some talent, I guess, because it's, I thought it was like freaking out, but people, I passed,
For sure.
I was approved by the audience. Yeah. So, the very first performance, it was draining. And then the second, it was not so bad. And then the third, it was not. Then the last one, I was having fun, you know? Okay, like I can do something after the show. I'm not going straight home and sleeping. And now we're working, but I was still like, oh, I want to have one small role, because it's going to be my first time ever doing theater. And I had 2 roles, and one of them, it was a big role. I had a long monologue at the end, emotional. I had to cry. Was it with
Chipka? Man?
No.
No. Okay, never mind.
It's the Westmount Community Theater.
Okay.
And so I was still, limiting myself. Yeah. But now that we're working on our second play, we're still reading the play, and we're still going through the script and casting. Nice. And I'm like, every character I'm reading, I'm like, okay, I want to play this. Even if I have to play 5 characters, I want to do this. And I think I can do this. For sure. So, I see some improvements.
Yeah, for sure.
In both film and theater.
100%. And speaking of characters, Is there certain characters you're more drawn to playing? Because I remember when I first started out,
Yeah.
I was more drawn to, because I'm also a bit of an introvert,
Yeah.
I was more drawn to the extroverted, loud,
Oh yeah.
because that was a side of me that I didn't really,
You had to work on.
I had to work on. Is there certain characters
That's
you
interesting.
read for and you're like, wow, this is really interesting? Could be an extroverted character, could be someone more isolated.
I don't know. I feel like I've been casted a lot to play mothers,
Okay.
which is funny because I'm not a mother and I don't plan on becoming one.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird. Like, do I have a motherly
Nurturing
energy?
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People tend to think that, but which is funny. But so I've been playing so many mothers that I feel like, okay, I want to play the opposite, like a bitch or someone really mean, like a trophy wife that, you know, married for the money. Like,
Yeah.
I know I can do this.
Yeah.
So it's not who I am, but
Oh, yeah.
it's the extreme opposite of who I am. So
Yeah.
that would be fun. Yeah, the opposites. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that would be my opposite
Yeah.
of playing mothers. So someone who's just mean, you know, just
Yeah.
a bitch.
Yeah.
And I think I could do that.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And in your training now, because you've been training for about 1.5 to 2 years,
Yeah.
what's been the biggest surprise you've taken out of it? Maybe it's been a certain class, maybe it's been a certain method taught to you by one of your teachers. What's been the biggest surprise or the biggest help to you in terms of your acting career so far?
Maybe it's the support that I've been given by my colleagues, people I work with, people I study with. When I get good feedback from them and honest feedback, it's like, okay, so I think I must be doing well, and I must be, you know, I'm giving my all, and they're noticing and they are acknowledging. I think that this is really helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my colleagues, people I work with.
For sure. And how has it been? Because it's always nice at the beginning to have, like you said, when you're doing your play, the audience telling you, oh, you're such a natural, getting that approval from people. It kind of becomes like a drug, almost.
Yeah.
How has it changed over the past 2 years to where your self-talk is changing? Because I remember my self-talk at the beginning was very, oh, you're not doing this well. Oh, you're not doing that well. Do you find it's changed over the years? Do you find?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It gave me so much self-confidence, and the things that you know deep inside, even since you were a kid, like the things you wanted to do when you were a kid, most things, they are still there, right? And so we get to think, okay, so this intuition, or, you know, this knowledge that I have deep inside, it's really true. Like, it's not out of nowhere. So that's how I feel. Like, everything that I thought I was able to do when I was a kid, and that I wanted to do, but then, you know, society starts telling you, no, you have to get a real job, and you have to be, I don't know, a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever. And by 30, you have to be successful, and you have to be married with kids, and, you know, have to have your own house. So how come you want to be an actor? Like, everyone wants to be an actor. So it's like, just because you want to be on TV, like, that's what we think, right? We hear. So I think it reassured me a lot on the things that I really love doing. Like, this is really for me, and I have to pursue what I have inside, you know?
Exactly. And that's why a lot of acting coaches talk about how, in order to show your true authentic self, you have to connect with your inner child. Exactly. And that for me was probably the biggest surprise acting, because the more I was acting, the more I was getting into it, the more I connected with my inner child.
Yes, exactly. And you heal your inner child.
Exactly. It's very therapeutic. And I also wanted to ask you, because you're somewhat new to the industry, it's only been 2 years. If there's somebody watching this now who's also unsure of jumping into it, who may be a bit shy, who may have a bit of social anxiety, what could you tell them as a piece of advice, just to tell them?
Right. I think it would be mostly just follow your dreams and do whatever feels right to you, but don't go after the results, but the process itself. So there are a lot of people who want to be in this industry, but why? What for? Is it for the money or the fame or just to be on TV? There's a lot of ego in this industry, right? There's a lot of narcissistic personalities. So most people, I think, just want to be on TV, and they don't care about the craft. They just want to know about the results, So if you're getting in this industry for the results, I don't think you're going anywhere. Or you might, but you're going to suffer a lot throughout the process. Like, you're going to be rejected a lot. And I think you have, whoever's wanting to be in this industry, just do it for the right reasons.
Exactly.
And if you do it for the right reasons, it's going to happen for you eventually. No fame or with fame, success or not successfully, money or no money, it's going to happen. If it makes you happy, it will make you happy regardless, right?
Exactly. It's very similar to what we're going to kind of jump off acting here, but Kobe Bryant, the late basketball player, said, he goes, when I stopped playing to win the game,
right,
and when I just started playing to play,
okay,
that's when I had my best results. That's when I won the most games. That's when I won all my championships.
Perfect.
So it's somewhat similar. And I kind of wanted to touch now on, what are the plans for Bruna heading forward? What's something you want to accomplish in your acting career? Maybe a certain play, a certain movie role you'd like to secure?
Right. Well, I definitely want to continue acting. I don't have any specific role, I guess. I want to be able to, play with my range of acting. But I'm going to keep acting, take acting classes and, workshops and networking, all that stuff. Do theater for sure. I'm gonna keep on doing theater. And I have a regular job, like a side job, which pays the bills.
Of course, yeah.
So eventually I would love to not need one anymore. I would love to be able to, be a working actor. But if that doesn't happen, still I'm gonna secure my job and I'm gonna keep acting, non-union, non-paid. I don't care. I just wanna act.
Yeah, 100%. And are you in the steps now of maybe securing an ACTRA license? Or?
I've been trying to get ACTRA now. I'm already ACTRA Extra.
Okay.
So I want to do UDA as well, if possible. But it's hard. Like I think the next step would be to upgrade to a union position.
Of course.
And go from there.
For sure.
Yeah, that's my next step for sure. Maybe by the end of 2023.
Yeah, let's put it out there. Let's manifest it.
Thank you.
No problem. And kind of just to end on a lighter note, I want to ask you maybe some of your artistic influences, maybe some actors or actresses you take inspiration from.
Right. I like a few actors and actresses. I like Jim Carrey. I think he's funny. I like Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I like Sandra Bullock. I like her.
Yeah.
And someone that, for me, she's quite new because I wasn't really into the films or series that she was working with. But Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. I relate to her.
You kind of have the same look as her.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah. And I was watching an interview with her, and everyone was like, "Oh, she's so weird, and that's so good. She's so funny. I love her because she's weird." And it was the first time that I thought, okay, so I can be weird and still be in this industry, because I always thought like you have to be perfect, you have to be drop dead gorgeous. And I don't think it's like that anymore.
No.
you can be yourself.
Authentic self.
Your authentic self, yeah. And when I saw her, I was like, okay, this is someone I can relate to, because she's not like, she's pretty, but she's not drop dead gorgeous. Well, some people might think so, but you know, she's not Angelina. And she's so weird. Like she's funny.
She's awkward funny.
She's awkward funny. Yeah. So I thought, okay, so I can be like her. I can be myself, and people would still like me. Okay, that's some good news, you know. So it was very reassuring. Aubrey Plaza.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aubrey Plaza's she's awesome in the industry.
Yeah.
And actually,
she has great range too.
She does.
From comedy to drama.
She does. She really does. Yeah. And actually, I just remembered that one of your videos that you acted in actually has 2 million views.
Oh yeah.
On Facebook, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Reed Frame Studios.
And 2 million views. That's great exposure.
Yeah.
Who knows what else is gonna happen for Bruna heading forward in her acting career?
Yeah.
But we're gonna be on the lookout. You're up and coming. We're very excited about that. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you
for coming here today
my
and
pleasure.
chatting with me. It was great.
Great. I loved it.
And we'll be on the lookout for your next project.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.